All right, Algebra 1B students. Welcome to part 1 of lesson 12.3. We're going to start talking today about mean, median, and mode. 3 ways that we can measure the center of a set of data. So we call these measures of central tendency. Big fancy term, really just means measures of center. Okay, measures of center. Now, we have these 3 measures of center: mean, median, and mode. Each one means a very different thing, but they are all useful in different situations. Okay, and we use outliers to try to help decide which of the 3 measures of center we should use for a certain set of data. Okay, it says the measure of center that best describes a data depends on whether the data has an outlier. An outlier is a data value that is much bigger or much less than the other values in the set. Okay, so an outlier means something that is much bigger, much smaller than the other values in the set, and we'll look at a little bit of what an outlier is here. Okay, so here we have a table that sort of summarizes and tells us what each of these 3 terms mean. Mean, median, and mode, what each one is and when we should use it. Okay, the mean is the one that involves the most math. It equals the sum of the data values, meaning we add up all the data values here, and then we divide by the total number of data values. So the mean is the sum of the data values divided by the total number of data values. Okay, and we use the mean to describe the middle when the data does not have an outlier. Okay, we use the mean when the data does not have an outlier. Okay, the next one is the median, which is the middle value in a data set when the values are arranged in order. So we arrange the data values in order from smallest to biggest, and we just kind of cross them out and go towards the middle until we find that middle number, which is called the median. Okay, so that doesn't involve that much math, but it does involve ordering our data points from lowest to highest. And that is the measure of center that we want to use when our data does have an outlier. Okay, so if we have an outlier and we want to describe the middle of a data set, we should use the median to do so. Okay, if it does not, we should use the mean. And finally, the mode of a data set is the item or the data number, the data point, that occurs the most often, the most times, the highest frequency for a specific data point. Okay, a data set can have no mode if nothing is there multiple times. It can have one mode if there's one that's there more than anything else, or it can have more than one mode if maybe 2 things are tied for the most or something like that. Now, mode is not usually a measure of really the center or middle of a data set. But we use mode when we're trying to choose the most popular item, or when we have a data set that is non-numeric. Like if we had a set of maybe dog breeds, we had a list of all these dog breeds. It doesn't make sense to find the average dog breed, but we can certainly talk about the most popular dog breed, which would be the mode, the item that occurs most often. Okay? So most of your problems in your practice problem set for tomorrow are going to be finding those 3 numbers, mean, median, and mode, for a certain set of data. So, for example, if we have these 2 cartoon bowlers here, and 6 of their friends apparently, we have 8 bowlers and their scores for a certain game of bowling, and they want us to find the mean, median, and mode of these bowling scores, and then decide which measure of central tendency best describes the scores. Okay, so in the case of the mean, if we want to find the mean of this data set, we will just take all of these data points here: 104, 117, 104, 136, 189, 109, 113, 104, add them all together, and then divide by 8 because there are 8 bowlers. Okay, so we take 104 plus 117 plus 104 plus 136 plus 189 plus 109 plus 113 plus 104, and then we will divide that by 8. All of those added together is equal to 976. So we then take 976, divide that by 8, and our average score is 122. Okay, so our mean, our average is 122. All right, that's the mean. Add them all up, divide by 8. Now to find the median of the scores, I'm not going to add or subtract anything, really do any math at all, but as you'll notice, I have rearranged these data points so that they are in order from lowest to highest, okay? And in order to find the median, I'm just going to start at the edge and cross out these data points one by one until I find the middle. Now, we really have 2 data points here in the middle, and what our table above said is that when we have an even number of data points, the median is the average of these 2 data points. So halfway between 109 and 113. In order to find that average, all we have to do is add those together. 109 plus 113. And then we will divide that by 2. And we get that that should equal 111. So our median here is 111. Okay? So the mean is 122. The median is smaller than that. It's only 111. And now we're going to go a little bit away from the measures of where the center is or what the average is or what the middle is. We're just going to talk about the, not median. We're just going to talk about the mode here, which, as we defined above, is the most popular of our data points, or the most common of numbers in our set of data. So I think it's pretty easy to see here that I have one of every number except 104. 3 of my bowlers got 104 as their score, so the mode is most certainly 104 would be the mode. Okay, so the mode is 104. That's my most popular data point by far. So I have these 3 numbers, 104, 111, and 122 as my mode, median, and mean, respectively. And they want me to tell them which one is the best fit. So I just need to look at my set of data, which I can do here in my mode list, and decide, do I have a outlier? Do I have an outlier where one of these data points is way higher or way lower than everything else? I think we can all agree that the answer is yes, because this 189 is more than 50 points higher than anybody else got, which seems way, way higher than everybody else, okay? So I certainly have an outlier. My outlier is right here at 189. So because of this outlier, my table said that I should use the median, if I have an outlier, as my best bet for the measure of the center. So I'm going to choose the median because I do have an outlier. If I did not, I would choose the mean, and like I said, if we weren't actually dealing with numbers, we would talk about the mode. Okay, but we are talking about numbers, so we will decide between mean and median. Because there is an outlier, we choose median. Okay. Now, next I would like for you guys to take the same set of data and just eliminate that 189 from it. So don't include this 189, but using the rest of these 7 data points, I would like you to find the mean, median, and mode of the scores, and then tell me which one you think is best to describe the data. Okay? So find the mean, median, and mode of all these data points besides the 189, then tell me which one you think is best for that certain situation. Just as a hint, you should not have an outlier anymore. No more outliers because we took out the 189. So pause the video, take a look there, then come on back and I will show you what we should get. Okay, it's certainly true that the mode should not change here. The mode should still be 104 because I'm not losing any of those. I'm just losing 189, which didn't really matter at all anyway. The median, if I cross things out in my list of data again, cross, 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 I end up here at 109. So my median is 109. And then my mean, I just need to take 104 plus 104 plus 104 plus 109 plus 113 plus 117 plus 136. Add that up and I get 787. Divide that by 7 data points now, and I actually get 112.43 or so. 43. Okay. So now I have these 3 scores, and because I do not have an outlier, my best bet is the mean because there is no outlier. Because there's no outlier, I choose the mean as my best fit for this data. If you have questions about how to find the mean, median, and mode of a data set, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you tonight. Have a wonderful night.